Hey students, in this video, I'm actually gonna just go over one problem and then I'll make other individual videos for each problem. It seems that it's best to show you all the information there is to know about one problem. If you want to watch the whole video, it's up to you, but at least know how to get to the answer one way. So the first problem here is 64x to the third, and 4/3 is your exponent. So one of the ways to start with is by applying the power to a power rule. So if there's an exponent raised to another exponent. And what this means is that we need to look at this as separate parts of an expression. You have the number as a coefficient, and then you have the variable attached to that exponent right there. So the coefficient itself has an exponent of 1, and we're going to multiply 64 well, not 64, but the exponent of 64, which is 1, times 4/3, because the rule tells us that we need to multiply whatever these two exponents are, and then I guess I'll just write it right here, mn. And then besides that times that exponent, it's this times this exponent. So we have x3 times 4 to the third, 4 over 3, sorry. So then now we simplify this part of the coefficient, and then after that we simplify the x, or vice versa, whichever way you want to do it. This can be just type in the calculator and have an answer right away, but of course, if you're in an advanced class, you need to know how to get there. We want to multiply 1 times 4/3 and the exponent, so 1 over 1, and then you multiply straight across, and that's going to give you 4 over 3. So that didn't change. On this one, we are also going to multiply 3 times 4 over 3. And again, that's straight across. And this will become 12 over 3. So then we simplify. This part simplifies to 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So this simplifies to x to the 4th power. This part simplifies to you rewriting this with the radical. So the radical needs to have the root as a denominator. Whatever denominator you have in the exponent fraction, you will put as a root. And then we have the 4, actually 64 inside. And you can either put this numerator before inside or outside. Most of the students are putting on the inside because they realize that you can simplify this part first, get an answer, and then turn it to the 4th power. So we're going to do that. We're going to think of a number times itself 3 times. That will give you 64. And then you can pause the video if you want to think. But technically, the answer here, if you type in the calculator, is 4. So that means this replaces, the 4 is replacing all that inside. And now we have 4 to the 4th power. That means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which will result in 256. So now we just put the x to the 4th power next to that, and that is your answer. So again, this is this route. Another route would have been, instead of distributing, we could have done the radical right away of the whole thing. So the cube root, because the denominator is 3, the cube root of 64x3, or 3rd power, to the 4th power. So from here, you realize that you need to focus only on this first. So you got to break down the 64 into numbers that are primes, or think of a number times itself 3 times. If you can figure it out, you'll realize that the answer here is 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And then here you just have the x 3 times itself. Whenever you have cube root, you are trying to simplify by grabbing groups of 3's. So there's one group of 4 in here. So you just write it one time. And then there's another group of x. So you just write it one time. There's nothing left. So we don't need to keep rewriting the cube root of something because there's nothing left. So this is gone. So now we have just this part of the inside become 4x. and then you just put this to the fourth power. So what this means is 4x times 4x times 4x times 4x. And if you do the math, you end up with 256. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and then x to the fourth power. So that's another way to get to that answer.